Rule number one in communication, in presentation, is make it about the listener. Speak to them in a language that they can understand. That's how you get the results you need, and that is how you get the recognition you deserve. So I had this client once, and he had a big presentation to give, and he was nervous. Now, he was very well known, he was experienced, he'd done it before, but he thought, ugh, will they still like me? Will I forget something? Am I going to forget what I'm going to do? So he waited, and he worried, and he worried, and he waited. Until finally, the night before the presentation was due, he called me up. At 3 o'clock in the morning, thank you, because he couldn't sleep, why should I, right? Anyway, he called me up, and we met the next morning, and since the presentation was that night, I just gave him 3 things to do. 2 of them had to do with the way he was delivering the material, and 1 was a physical gesture he was doing, which was sabotaging him, and he didn't know it. And that night, I got to watch him walk out in front of a packed house and be brilliant. He was great. He did everything right. The audience loved him. They rose to their feet in a standing ovation. And the look on his face as he took in the applause made me smile so hard my cheeks hurt. This is why I do what I do. That client was Luciano Pavarotti, singing the role of Radames in Aida at the Metropolitan Opera. Ladies, raise your hand if you ever feel like men don't listen. Yeah? Right. Now, gentlemen, raise your hands if you ever get the feeling that women go on and on and on and never get to the point. Uh-huh. Right. Just what I thought. That's a classic stereotype. We've been writing about it and talking about it for centuries. But I think the root of the problem is we're using the same words, but we're speaking different languages. Now, I think of it as single-focused people, traditionally men, historically men, but not always, and multi-focused people, traditionally women, historically women, but not always. On the one hand, you've got the people who are task-oriented, and they want to solve the problem. They don't care about context. And on the other hand, you've got the multi-focused people who see the world as a web of relationships. And for them, context is everything. What's the point of having a story if you don't know the context, right? So why does it matter? It matters because in business, you need both. Western business was built on single-focused principles, task-oriented, and that's great because that's how you get things done. But it can also lead to tunnel vision. You really need the multi-focused people who are the ones who are going to notice the side issues. I got tired of not being heard. And so now what I do is help women's voices be heard in places of power. Because when that happens, it's a better world for our daughters, it's a better world for our sons, it's a better world for everyone.